The Weebles Haunted House, Weebles wobble all about, and it's a real exciting place to be. A smiling ghost with glowing face has a secret hiding place, and that's not all, there's plenty more to see. Cause a Weebles Haunted House is a great place to be. Weebles Haunted House, including glow-in-the-dark Weeble Ghost from Romper Room.
Hello and welcome back to 2-Day Rentals. Today I've got something pretty interesting that I wanted to talk about for the month of October and Halloween. It's the Weebles Haunted House from 1976, 1977, somewhere in that time range. This is an interesting little play set. Now, I'm a big fan of play sets. If you've watched my channel, you probably already know that. And this is something that I normally wouldn't collect unless it was a haunted house themed Weebles playset. I don't have a ton of Weebles, I have a few. I actually was looking for this for my sister many years ago, and I happened to find two at a really good deal. Hers came with an extra vehicle. Mine actually came almost complete. I think I'm only missing a couple of things. But the reason I like this so much is because it's your stereotypical haunted house. I mean, it's got everything. The play set includes 4 figures. You've got the ghost, which is pretty hard to find these days. He's supposed to glow in the dark. I tried to capture that, couldn't really get it to work. You have the witch, and actually I'm missing her little pointed cap. And you have a brother and sister who both look very scared to be in this haunted house situation. This thing is full of neat little details. I mean, you've got the candles, the haunted pictures, the cobwebs, little hiding places, a picket fence, boards on the window, you name it. It's got all the tropes that you would think of for a haunted house. And I think it looks really neat displayed. I mean, even the architecture of it kind of reminds me of the Addams Family house or the Munsters house. It falls right in line with those things for sure. And I just think that toys from the late 70s and early 80s had a certain charm. I mean, if you see the evolution of toys, once you got into the mid to late 80s, things have a different aesthetic, but toys from that time just have a certain whimsy to them, and this captures every bit of that. I really like this play set. I was mentioning before that there's actually some other accessories that go along with this. I want to say there's like a haunted van or truck or bus. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I actually got that with the one I got for my sister, and I love that one so much I knew I had to find one for myself. And I'm actually really glad that I did. This time of year, I put it up and display it, but I don't just stop with the Weebles figures. As cute as they are, as cool as they are, you know me, I love to get my toys and mix them and match them and see what other things I can come up with. And I found a few years ago that the Funkos Horror Minis look fantastic in this house. I've got several of those. I kind of went crazy collecting those. I don't have a ton of Funko Pops. I think they're neat, just not something I collect. But the little mini ones I think are pretty neat because they display easy, they're easy to store, and I love horror films. And those series that they did, I believe there were 3 of them, were really neat. They've got all the icons. This haunted house is absolutely perfect to display those. The scale is spot on, and it's got enough features that you can do some really neat stuff. Do you want Pinhead lurking in the attic, trying to capture your soul and rip it apart? It looks great for that. What about Reagan, the poor child that gets possessed in The Exorcist? Well, the Weebles set actually comes with a bed. You can lay her in there and it almost looks like she's hovering. Very cool effect. What about Freddy Krueger? He looks great lurking behind the boarded up windows, about to tear into your bedroom and destroy all your dreams and turn them into savage nightmares. What about Michael Myers, the boogeyman? He looks great standing outside the front of this house as if he's just been on a killing spree, and Mike is kind of the #1 guy when it comes to spree killers. But it doesn't really stop there. We all know the story of The Shining, right? Jack Torrance loses his mind. What if he's busting in through the front door with his axe, trying to hunt down his family? Oof, it's creepy movie. Love that movie. It's got a certain eeriness to it. Not necessarily scary, but just an unsettling feeling. Anyway, enough about that. But I think one of my favorite Funko Horror Minis to display is Leatherface, because this haunted house has a feature where it has a little door that turns, and I think it's supposed to be like a hiding place for the ghost, or maybe a hiding place for the kids trying to get away from the witch or the ghost. But Leatherface looks great behind this door, just like he pops out from behind the sliding door in the movie. He can swing out from behind this door, rev up his chainsaw, and go to town. I think it's a neat little feature that obviously is all coincidence that these things fit, but nonetheless, I highly recommend, if you're a fan of horror, you're a fan of toys, play sets from the 70s, 80s, or any era, and you happen to have any of these Funko Horror minifigures, these came from series 1, 2, and 3, they're kind of scattered throughout, definitely pick this thing up and display your horror figures in there. It doesn't necessarily have to be the original Weebles or the Funko horror figures. You could put any number of figures in there. Heck, even the Super Monster figures that I talked about last week, well, those will look pretty neat in there as well. So, do you remember this play set? I certainly didn't. It came a little bit before my time, and I found out about it later and knew I had to have one. Did you own it as a child? Are you going to pick one up now? Maybe this video inspired you to do something cool with it. They're not that hard to come by, I don't think. I think when I got mine, I got it for a pretty good deal. As we know these days, vintage and retro toys, anything that sprinkles nostalgia over it, the price has gone up. But let me know down in the comments, do you like play sets? Is this something you would collect? Do you know of any other sort of Weebles play sets on that scale that would work well with other Funko minifigures? Please comment down below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I talk about a little bit of everything on here, a bunch of stuff I'm passionate about, movies, video games, toys, movie merchandise, funky crossover items, maybe Blockbuster and Coca-Cola did a cross-promotional item. I'm probably going to end up talking about it here on my show. It's like I always say at the end of all my videos, let's be kind as we rewind and fast forward through time. Thank you so much for stopping by.
In a Weebles Haunted House, Weebles wobble all about, and it's a real exciting place to be. A smiling ghost with glowing face has a secret hiding place, and that's not all.